guys, it's Yellow Master 69 here, and this is going to be the first episode of 2020, and we go from a sci-fi gun to a historical World War II gun. That's right, this is the first shotgun that we're going to be doing in the Gunsmith guide because, well, it's hard to do anything with shotguns in terms of customization. But as you can see right there, that's the trench gun. So this is how we got the trench gun. So you're gonna want Lockwood stock. You're gonna want the Lockwood foregrip. You're gonna want the 30-inch sport barrel, sleight of hand, and the GI mini reflex. Now you might be wondering, why do you put the GI mini reflex? And it's because in both. Okay, so it's not a real thing that exists, but this is in both Call of Duty World at War and in World War II. There is a, what the fuck is it called? I think it's called a lens sight, but it's basically a fake red dot that you could put on your trench gun in both World War II and Call of Duty World at War, which definitely isn't historical, especially in World War II's case where it's basically a red dot. But we have a GI mini reflex kind of as a nod to World at War and World War II. But if you want to run this gun differently, you can run slug rounds, tube. I don't know. I don't like the tube extension in this game. It looks very awkward looking. I mean, obviously in terms of like practicality, it's always going to be better. But to me, a gun, I don't know, the tube going past the barrel looks wrong inherently. So slug rounds are a good choice in case you want to replace the mini reflex. I don't know if there's suppressors in. I know there's no suppressors in World War II, but I can't remember if there were any in World at War. But suppressors are fine. Lasers, not really. I do wish there was a bayonet for this gun because the only gun that has a bayonet in this game is the AK, and I feel like you'd get so much more use out of it on a shotgun instead of an assault rifle, especially considering that the AK in this game's really slow fire rate. So I think that the AK is better suited for long range in this game. So if this, I think that shotguns should have a bayonet in this game. And if you're with me, let's hit up Infinity Ward on Twitter and say, hey, give the Model 680 a bayonet so we can make trench guns. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys how this weapon is in terms of spread patterns and recoil in the private matches. So I'll see you guys. So we're loading up into the private match so we can test out the recoil and spread on our trench gun. Let's load into this map. Anya Palace is like my least favorite map in this game. I think that this map does not, I don't know, I don't even like this map on Ground War. Well, I mean, it's not that bad on Ground War, but I really dislike this map. Like, people complain about Piccadilly. I feel like this map, oh, I fucking hate it. Feels like a battlefield map. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing is, let's see what it's like when you... let's see if the spread closes if you ADS. So it does. I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool. Well, I guess if you Yeah, if you ADS, your spread will be a lot closer than it will be if you don't ADS, I think. Let's make for sure. Yeah, those are some pretty big patterns. So let me show you guys the recoil on the Model 680. Not that it matters too much because it's a pump action, but it's actually worse if you try to compensate for recoil since, well, it's a pump action, so if you compensate for recoil, you're just going to be moving it before you shoot, and you're going to shoot off target. So yeah, it's a pump action shotgun. I don't know what else to say about it. I love the, to me at least, the 680 is probably my favorite shotgun in this game. It's pretty good. Actually, I think this is the only shotgun I have max level. I might have the 725 max level, I'm not sure. But this is my favorite shotgun in the game. So anyways, let's go to the facts section. Alright, so here we are in the facts section. So this is what I gotta teach you about the trench gun. So trench gun was made in 1897. So if you do the math, it is 123 years old, and it served from 1897 to 1957. Or no, that's when it was produced. It's produced from 1897 to 1957. So let's see how much of a difference that is. 1957. So that's a 60 years. That's 60 years of this gun being produced. So it was designed by John Moses Browning, who's also designed the Browning machine gun, the Browning high power, the 1911. Pretty much any gun you can, not any gun that you can think of, but there's so many prolific firearms that John Browning has designed that there's too many to name. Let's just say that. But it served the Army, Navy, and the Marine Corps. It was used in World War I, the Irish War of Independence, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. The trench gun is, I don't know if you guys heard these from World War I, like this is historical facts, but wait, was it World War I or World War II? Let me check something really quick. Okay, now I checked it. So during World War I, there's a lot of protests by the Germans that the Americans shouldn't be using the trench gun because it was considered inhumane and unfair because, well, it's the most fucking, it's not the most fucking badass, well, it is a fucking badass shotgun. That's besides the point I was trying to make, but basically it was considered unfair by Germany, and they tried to protest it, and they also issued threats that they would kill any American soldiers that they found with a trench gun. So that's an interesting historical fact about the trench gun. I mentioned earlier that you can put a bayonet on it. It used the M1917 bayonet, and it had a perforated heat shield on the barrel, which I forgot to mention this, but you could also use the Liberator barrel, which now that I think about it, the Liberator barrel actually looks a lot more accurate to the real firearm because of the heat shield than the 30-inch barrel. So it's kind of your choice between which one you want to use, but now that I think about it, the Liberator barrel is the way to go. What else? So fires 12 gauge. They were still in as I mentioned earlier, they were still in service during Korea and Vietnam. I think this gun was in Black Ops as well. Like, I know it was in World at War. It's in World War II. In World War II, it's called the combat shotgun. And I believe it's in the single player of Black Ops 1. It's not a multiplayer weapon, because the stakeout is the shotgun in multiplayer, which stakeout looks similar because of the heat shield, but I don't think they're affiliated in any way. But this is also used by this is like a riot gun in the US for a really long time. The riot version did not have the heat shield or the bayonet lug, because obviously the police have no reason for a bayonet, and probably not going to be firing this thing enough that they need the heat shield. But the police versions had the military version had sling swivels, which the police version also didn't have. And another interesting fun fact about the trench gun in real life is that it's one of the few shotguns that you can actually slam fire. Now, when you hear slam fire, you probably think about like how with airsoft shotguns, you can like hold the trigger and just cock back the pump back over and over again. And typically that's not how real pump action shotguns operate. But there are very, very few real pump action shotguns that you can actually slam fire. And the trench gun is one of the few actual pump action shotguns that you can slam fire. The military version of this gun has a hammer on it on the top of the receiver, and it has a 5-round magazine. But obviously I can't put a hammer on this gun in this game because that's just not something you can do. But there is a hammerless version, which I believe is the police riot version of the trench gun. There's a lot of really informative videos that go into like the history of the trench gun and stuff that I definitely recommend looking into, because I've seen quite a few of those, and the trench gun actually has a really remarkable history behind it. And I'm literally just scratching the surface, but it goes pretty deep. Like the history about the trench gun and how it was used, and its whole like design philosophy, and how John Browning designed it. So if that's something that interests you, there's so many great YouTube videos about it. That's it for the facts section. Let's get into a multiplayer match and show you how this gun works. Looks like they took out Shipment 24/7, so it looks like we're gonna be playing Shoot House 24/7. Or no, it wasn't called Shipment 24/7. It was Shoot the Ship or whatever. Anyways, I like that better because it was nice being able to play between the two really small maps. But what can you do? Oh, we're playing domination. Alright. Alright. Oh, there it is.
Domination. Capture and defend the objective. Securing Alpha. We've got Alpha.
Alright, we got
We've got
A.
control.
Let's go for B.
You're needed a feed.
Can I just watch that?
Enemy in center.
I guess that was fair.
We're losing control. One down. Securing feed.
Okay, I can't challenge him from there. Fuck.
Losing feed.
Enemy in the cargo container.
UAV overhead. We've lost feed. We've lost the lead.
Fuck.
Enemy in the back alley.
Enemy holds 2 objectives. Take it. You're needed
Where are
at
they?
Alpha. Securing Charlie.
Alright, we got C.
We've lost Alpha.
This is
Enemy
gonna
near
go
Main Street.
through here. How the fuck did I not see that?
Securing Bravo.
Revenge.
Securing Alpha. We're on Bravo. Stand by. Captured Alpha.
Bro.
Need backup at Charlie. We're on Bravo. Stand by. We've lost Charlie. We're holding Bravo. Hostiles at Alpha. Losing B. We're taking Charlie. Hostiles have Alpha. Enemy personal radar in the air. Get those positions. We're being dominated. Charlie secure. Shield turret ready to deploy. We've got a UAV on station. Ready to fire. Cruise missile. Go for launch.
UAV entering the AO.
We're taking Alpha. They've got 2 objectives. Keep it.
Signal lost. UAV down.
We're holding Alpha. Hostiles are taking Charlie.
Motherfucker.
You're needed at Alpha.
Enemy near Main Street.
Nice shot. Good kill.
Assist your team at A. We're taking Bravo. We've lost A. Enemy personal radar in the overhead. We're on Bravo. Stand by. We've got Bravo. You're needed a Bravo. They took out our shield turret. We're on Alpha. Stand by. We've lost Bravo.
Enemy in the courtyard.
got like 10 minutes.
We hold all the objectives. Assist your team at sea. We've lost Charlie. Shield turret ready to deploy. We're on Charlie. We've taken control. Hostiles at Bravo, go. You're needed at Alpha. Securing C. Friendly UAV overhead. Hostiles have Alpha. You're needed at B. Charlie secure. Securing A. Shield turret ready to deploy. Assist your team at B. Got a UAV on
Enemy
station.
your main street.
Securing A. Cruise missile, go for launch. We're holding all
Fuck. What the hell is that?
Charlie.
Oh, he had a shotgun too.
Hostiles at Charlie. Allied cruise missile away.
Motherfucker.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. Jaguar 3-0.
We're holding two, we have the advantage. Friendly Wilson on station. Who's in Bravo? Shield turret ready to
Enemy in the
deploy.
junkyard.
Enemy cruise missile incoming. Hostiles at Bravo, go. We're taking Charlie. We're taking Charlie. Hold all the objectives. Enemy VTOL is going on. Assist your team at sea. You're needed at Charlie. Hostiles at Charlie. Shield turret ready to deploy.
Enemy in the courtyard.
Got a UAV on station, ready for flyout. Support helo in the air.
UAV entering the AO.
Enemy in the cargo container.
Come at me, bro. Oh, fuck.
Before we come
Enemy in the junkyard.
I really hate people who camp in office.
Enemy in the cargo container.
They've got two objectives. Keep hitting them.
Reloading.
One out, stand by. Shield turret ready to deploy. We captured Alpha. Friendly UAV overhead. We're taking Bravo. We've got a UAV
Enemy
on
in the
station.
junkyard.
Assist your team at A.
UAV entering the AO.
We've lost Alpha.
Enemy at the center.
Securing Bravo.
Advised, UAV is bingo fuel.
Shield turret ready to deploy. We've got a UAV on station, ready for flight. Hitting them.
UAV the AO.
Captured Alpha. Assist your team at C.
Enemy in the back alley.
Securing B. We've lost Charlie.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel.
Securing
Enemy in the cargo
B.
container.
Losing A. Shield turret ready to deploy. Securing B.
Enemy in the
Got a
junkyard.
UAV on station, ready for flyover.
UAV entering the AO.
Enemy cruise missile incoming. Bravo, go. Shield turret ready to deploy.
Hey. Oh, I got final kills. Bitch. Oh, I actually did pretty good. Alright, so that was the trench gun. So now for my my final thoughts on this gun. It is a pretty fun gun to use, although that might be attributed to it just being the Model 680. I think the workhorse of this class setup is mostly going to be the Liberator barrel and the sleight of hand. Same thing with the sport barrel, since that's just going to increase like the damage range and tube capacity. I do not know if I don't really feel like the Lockwood stock and grip really do much to help, since I can't really see what aiming stability does for a shotgun, especially when you use it more for run and gun, like how I was using it. The red dot is whatever. It's mostly just there for the aesthetics of it. But if I were to do whatever I could to get the most out of this 680, what I would be doing is I'd take no stock. I'd keep the Liberator barrel. Probably use the tactical foregrip. Sleight of hand I'd keep, and I'd probably put the monolithic suppressor. So it'd be more like the Mossberg 500, like the one that has like no stop, like the police Mossberg, or is it called the Cruiser? I don't fucking know. But back to the actual weapon we're talking about, because we'll talk about a cruiser shotgun at a different time. I don't feel like the Lockwood stock and grip really do much to get the most out of this weapon. It looks badass, like, don't get me wrong, I think that the wood stock and wood foregrip are definitely like the sexiest attachments for this gun, and it does look really fucking cool like that. But I don't think it's not making this the best gun that it could be, in my opinion. But it's definitely a fun gun to use, and I definitely recommend using the trench gun setup that we were using today. If you liked that video, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys got any recommendations for guns for me to make in the Modern Warfare Gunsmith, leave them in the comments below. I do have weapons planned. Like, I'm not running out of ideas, nowhere near running out of ideas, because This game's Gunsmith is just so extensive to where you can just like create so many weapons. But just in case you guys want to see something, just leave it in the comments and I'll see if I can make it. Alright, hope you guys like this video. Have a great night. Peace.